Alright, well, we're doing this again. You saw the video title, and yes, it's probably true. Sonic Heroes is getting a complete remake in Unreal Engine 5. Earlier today, Zippo made a blog post. I know, bear with me. He just said that one of 5 Sonic games is getting a complete remake in Unreal Engine 5. The options were SA1, SA2, Heroes, 06, and Unleashed. And out of all of these games, Heroes would be my last pick, but we'll get into that later. Midori, a very credible Sonic leaker who leaked Sonic X Shadow Generations and the recently leaked Sonic toy mobile game thing, I honestly forgot what that was called, confirmed on Twitter that Sonic Heroes was the game that was getting remade. Wait, 1 second, y'all. Man, I'm just so tired of this. If you like Heroes, that's fine. You can enjoy whatever Sonic game you want. Personally, this is my least favorite mainline Sonic game for numerous reasons, and I won't get into detail because that's for another video. But I think the level design is repetitive, the controls are too slippery, the combat is mind-numbing, the McDonald's toy-ass art style sucks. You gotta play the same game at varying difficulties to unlock the final story. It's just a mess of a game. Every one of the other games Zippo mentioned would have been miles better. The adventure games have honestly not aged well at all. You can look at these games and tell they were very experimental when it came to how they were designed. They're also held back by many small issues that, if fixed in a remake, could make them masterpieces. The games had a good base, but it was the execution in some places that held them back from being nearly perfect games. 06, yeah, we all know the story by now. This game had the potential to be amazing, but Sonic Team was just rushed by Sega to get it out for the holiday season. A remake of this game would have allowed Sonic Team to fulfill their initial vision of the game, and I would have been through the roof if this was happening. But at the same time, I'm not too mad about 06 not being the remake. Chaos X has been working his ass off on Project 06, and I would just hate for all of his work to be made meaningless in the blink of an eye. And then Unleashed. Dude, this actually sucks. I have been advocating for Unleashed to get a remaster, remake, or hell, even just a simple port to PC. This is a very good game if you ask me, even though it does have some glaring issues that would have to be amended in a remake. But it's just the fact that this game isn't easily playable on modern hardware. Heroes has a PC port that can be modded to run on modern PCs. You don't need to use experimental emulation to run the game at a solid frame rate like you need to with Unleashed. So out of all of the games, why Heroes? And it's quite simple, really. Despite what people think nowadays, Heroes was one of the most well-received Sonic games during its time. Yeah, believe it or not, the receptions for both SA1 and SA2 were more mixed than you probably think. This is the same reason why Sega chose to remaster Colors and Generations. Those were highly praised games among the general audience. Sure, Sonic fans may have a thing or two to say about those games nowadays, but Sonic games aren't necessarily the target audience when it comes to re-releases. Heroes is simply more appealing to a wider audience than a game like Unleashed, which saw backlash due to the werehog mechanic. And the reason they chose to remake Heroes is because they can't simply remaster it. I already discussed this in a previous video on why Sonic Heroes can't get remastered, but the engine the original game ran on is defunct, so it would be a nightmare getting that working on modern consoles. How do you get around that? Remaking the game from the ground up in a different engine. Unreal Engine 5 is definitely an interesting one though. Zippo said that Sonic Team just wants to get more experienced with working in other engines, so that's why they went with UE5. I mean, okay, I guess. At least the game is going to look great. I don't know, man. I just don't like Heroes, so I'm just kind of disappointed that they chose to remake this game over a Sonic game that I've been wanting on PC for a very long time now. If you like Heroes, then I'm happy for you, but this is definitely not my first pick. Who knows though? Maybe they'll fix a lot of the issues that I have with the game, even though that would require a complete overhaul of the level design, but I digress. But that's all for me, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all later. Goodbye.